So Alpha Wave 2 is over. And in the lead up to Alpha Wave 3, I thought it was good time to reflect over our previous top 5s to see if anything has changed between the waves. Now these will be shorter because there are less changes than you might have thought, but there are still some, which is why I thought it was good to go into them. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hello everyone, Ragewood here, back with another Godforge video. And today we are taking a step back and revisiting our top 5 epics. Now for Wave 1, the chap that you see on screen was my number 1 choice, followed by Gilgamesh at number 2, Hound of Duat at 3, Mordred and Percival occupying that 4th spot, with Imhotep in the 5th slot. So now we're seeing, do I still feel the same? Are they still in that order, or have some of them moved off? Well, spoiler alert, there's quite a few changes in my opinion from Wave 1 to Wave 2. So just start with some changes. The man that was number 2 last time around is no longer on the list. They reduced his multipliers and things to the point that his damage is nowhere near what it was, and I think there are just better options out there, even in the rares for wave clearing. So for me, Gilgamesh has fallen off, which has left space for others to step up. So coming in at number 5, we have Achilles. So Achilles is an epic slayer, and what he does mainly is place bleed. Right, he places 3 on his skill 1, he has a 50% chance to do that. And then on his skill 2, he gives himself Retaliate. He also gives himself Attack Up and Sharpen. You can't see that there. And his ultimate removes the bleeds to do more damage. But that's not what we care about here. In fact, most of the time we're not casting his ultimate. We are just using this. And this is what allowed a lot of people to clear through the bosses, particularly floor 120. You just put Achilles in lots of survivability sort of gear, HP percentage, defense percentage, a ton of accuracy just to get those bleeds going to start chunking down the boss. Now, I have a theory that perhaps the bleeds weren't doing 75% less damage against the bosses. So will he still be as good in Wave 3? I don't know. But just from the standpoint of Wave 2, Achilles enabled a lot of people to progress, and therefore I think he deserves a spot in our top 5. Coming in at number 4, oh how the mighty fall, Beowulf. Beowulf did receive some nerfs from Wave 1, actually some considerable nerfs. His damage is nowhere near what it used to be, in my opinion. Now, does that make him bad? No, he is still very good. And just like Achilles, he is one of the reasons a lot of people were able to clear some of the boss content. But again, I think I have some bias because I knew what he was before. Now, seeing what he is now, he is not as good, which obviously was always going to happen. He was very strong before. But I miss what he was, and I just think maybe the nerfs were a bit too harsh, maybe. I could be wrong in that thought. But yes, he still enabled people to clear the bosses. He still does maximum HP. I think just the issue I have is that Guan Yu just does it better now. Guan Yu does 5% on his basic attack. He does 3 and 2 on his core and his ultimate, which means they've got lots of cooldowns. And even if you get him Awaken 5, he needs a strong hit to get it, which again, he's almost just a worse Guan Yu at this stage. He's still very good, still good, but yeah, I think he deservedly is no longer number 1 because, yeah, of the nerfs. But there, Beowulf, it's a shame, but he is now number 4, which to be fair, actually, is still good, but he is not the outright number 1 anymore, in my opinion. Number 3, and remaining so, is Hound of Duat. Now, He has become less effective with the bosses having immunity to divinity still now, okay? But he still provides a shield, he still provides protect and a lot of value for your team as you're climbing. And a lot of the strategies to beat bosses this wave was to have 2 or 3 Isolde imprints and 2 or 3 defenders, and he can easily fill that role. You can see I've got an Isolde imprint on him now, and as a result of that, yeah, he is still very good and still in the top 3 for me. Still a good unit. So, whilst he did receive a little bit of nerf with the boss changes, still solid, and yeah, definitely build him if you'll need a defender to help you survive. Number 2 then, Mordred. Now, Percival also does a very similar role here, but Mordred has more consistency. And that is, you're bringing him for control. He has the Confuse, 75% chance, and places accuracy up on himself. But if we look at the abilities, once you level him up, which I didn't to be fair, that chance but then becomes 100% and increases the duration. So yeah, a very strong ability. This kind of control is actually what allowed a lot of people to clear 142. That final wave with the Pangu and the Heimdall and the Aphrodite and the Sphinx. Oh, it's nightmare fuel. But this is what allowed a lot of people to clear it, having Mordred with some control. He also hits quite hard as well. He places Corrupt and can steal random buffs if they're under Corrupt. A solid unit overall, and I think deservedly of number 2. So if Gilgamesh is no longer on the list, who is number 1? Well, they were an honourable mention for me last time, and this time they are number 1. That is Brunhild. Now, Brunhild is fantastic. I was hesitant to put her up here because I'm not sure with how some of her abilities work, whether they're going to get changed. But what does she do? So similar to the Hound of Duat, she is a defender. So you can slap an Isolde imprint on her or on someone else, run a 2-defender team, and you're going to be able to survive a lot of the bosses. For me, most of the time, I use Brunhild and Shishi. And Brunhild is essentially just a souped up Shishi in a way. So her skill 1 places attack down. It's an attack down 2, so it is just better than Shishi's. And if she's under a radiance, it increases the damage. Now, that part we don't really care about too much, but she's under radiance an awful lot. Her skill 2 places defense up on all allies. Shishi only places it on himself. And she also places intercept on all allies too. So she's taking some of the heat off your team as well with that intercept, just allowing a bit more survivability. Also, something we skipped completely, she's got a leadership bonus, 20% defense in all battles, which is lovely. And then her ultimate removes all disables from herself, but she can't use it when she is disabled, so this is kind of a bit buggy. Then place Radiance 2 on all allies. It says it can be used under a disable. I've never been able to use it whilst under a disable, so maybe that's a bug for me. But she also places a shield equal to 250%, so almost like a mini Heimdall here, placing the shield. And the Radiance is great. Radiance is reducing the damage you've got coming in at you and reflecting it back. Now, this is what I think might change on her and why I was hesitant. In the Golden Guardian and Fafnir 150, she was key for my clear because she was doing an awful lot of damage. Now, some of that comes from the passive. Like if she's under Radiance, she places Blaze. You're building accuracy on her anyway for the attack down. So you're going to get a lot of damage from that Blaze ticks. But I wonder if the Radiance is doing more than it should. That was my concern. But without that knowledge, I think, she remains as she is. She is the number 1 epic. And that is it from me today. So what do you think? Do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments down below. But as always, thank you very much for watching. Take care and look after yourselves. Work hard. But as always, play harder. And I will see you in another one soon. Cheers.